Hello mathematicians! Today I'll be covering Chapter 4, Lesson 5, and our learning target is I can add and subtract mixed numbers. Let's get started. For our vocab setup today, I'd like to review a few different terms. A mixed number is a combination of a whole number and a proper fraction. A fraction greater than 1 is also known as an improper fraction, is when the numerator is greater than the denominator. A least common denominator, or LCD, is the least common multiple of the denominators of two or more fractions. And then the least common multiple is the smallest common multiple between two numbers. Okay, take time to pause the video and write down these steps for adding and subtracting mixed numbers. First, find a common denominator. Second, rewrite the problem vertically. Third, add or subtract the fractions. Fourth, add or subtract the whole numbers. And fifth, simplify if necessary. Okay, let's begin with an addition of mixed numbers problem. First, we need to find a common denominator. And I see that they both have a common denominator of 9, so that's already done for us. Then we can rewrite the problem vertically. So 5 and 4/9 plus 3 and 2/9. I can write that vertically. Now I can add or subtract the fractions, so we're adding the fractions. 4/9 plus 2/9 is 6/9. Now I can add or subtract the whole numbers, so I'm adding the whole numbers. 5 plus 3 is 8. And now I need to simplify, so I see that 6 and 9 both share a common factor besides 1, and that's the number 3. So I can take 6 divided by 3 and 9 divided by 3, and I am going to keep 8 out front. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So my sum is 8 and 2/3. Okay, moving on to a subtraction of mixed numbers problem. First, I'm going to find a common denominator. I see that I have a denominator of 6 and a denominator of 3. So in order to find my least common denominator, I can make a T-chart. So I can list my multiples of 6, 6, 12, 18, and I'll stop there. 3, 6, 9, 12, and I can stop there. I can circle my least common denominator, which is 6. So the least common multiple between 6 and 3 is 6. So my least common denominator will be 6. So I don't have to multiply 6 by anything to get 6. It's already 6. But I do have to multiply 3 by 2 to get 6, meaning that I also have to multiply my numerator by the same amount. Okay, now I can rewrite the problems vertically. So I have 8 and 5/6. Subtract 2, and this becomes 2/6. And so I wrote them as a common denominator. I wrote them vertically. And now I can add or subtract the fractions. So I'm subtracting the fractions. 5 minus 2 is 3. So I'm left with 3/6. And now I can subtract the whole numbers. 8 minus 2 is 6. So I have 6 and 3/6. And my last step is to simplify if necessary. So I see that 6 and 3 both share a common factor of 3. So I can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 3. The 6 stays the same. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So my difference is 6.5. Now it's your turn to try it. Pause the video, give these a try, and then when you're ready, press play and I'll reveal the answers. Okay, so adding up 6 and 1/8 plus 2 and 5/8, I get an answer or a sum of 8 and 3/4. And adding up 1 and 5/9 plus 4 and 1/6, I get a sum of 5 and 13/18. Okay, for this problem, I want you to notice that the second number has a fraction that's larger than the first number, so 2/3 is larger than 1/3. This is going to present a problem for us moving forward as we try to solve the problem. So, first let me show you why, and then I'll show you how to fix it. If I write the problem vertically, 2 and 1/3, subtract 1 and 2/3, I see that I can't take 2/3 away from 1/3. So I'm going to have to rename the first number. I can rename the first number if I have an understanding of what a whole is. So using the denominator 3, I know that 3 out of 3, or 3/3, is equal to 1 whole. So I have 2 wholes here. So I can rename my first number as 1 3/3 plus 1/3. So I still have my 2 wholes plus my 1/3 there. Then I'm going to simplify it even more. I'm going to turn it into 1 3/3 plus 1/3 is 4/3. Okay, now I can write my second number below it, 1 2/3. So now I can take away 2/3 from 4/3. So 4/3 take away 2/3 is 2/3. And then 1 take away 1 is just 0. So my answer, or my difference, is 2/3. And it's fully simplified. Okay, let's try another similar problem. If I have 7 minus 1 1/2. So I have to take away a half from a whole. But I'm going to have to rename the first number. So my first number is 7. That means I have 7 wholes. So I know that 1 whole, in this case using the common denominator of 2, 1 whole equals 2 over 2. So I know that 2 over 2 equals 1. So I can rename 7 as 6 plus 1, or 6 2/2. So I'll take 6 2/2 minus 1 1/2. Now I'll write the problems vertically. So 6 2/2 minus 1 1/2. Now let's subtract the fractions. 2/2 minus 1/2 is just 1/2. And then I can subtract the whole numbers. 6 minus 1 is 5. So my answer is 5 1/2. And the problem is already fully simplified. Okay, let me show you one more problem that's one step more difficult. First, I see that 5 3/8 minus 4 and 11/12 do not have a common denominator, so I'm going to take care of that. Writing my t-chart, I can list the multiples of 8 and 12. 8, 16, 24, 12, 24. I see that they share a common multiple of 24, so my least common denominator is also 24. To make 8 equal 24, I have to multiply it by 3. And whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do the same thing to my numerator. So I'm going to multiply the numerator by 3 as well. And to make 12 equal 24, I have to multiply it by 2. So I'm going to multiply the numerator by 2 as well. So 5 and 3 times 3 is 9. 8 times 3 is 24. So I have 5 and 9 24ths, subtract 4 and 22 24ths. But I'm running into the same problem I had earlier, where I can't take 22 away from 9. So I'm going to have to rename my first number. I know that 1 whole equals 24 24ths, so I'm going to rewrite it as 4 and 24 24ths plus 9 24ths. And then to rewrite it again, I can add up 24 plus 9, which is 33. So I'm left with 4 and 33 24ths, subtract 4 and 22 24ths. And now I can subtract the fractions. So 33 minus 22 is 11. So I'm left with 11 24ths. And then 4 minus 4, subtracting the whole numbers, is 0. So my answer is just 11 24ths. Okay, it's your turn to try it. Pause the video, and then when you're ready, press play and I'll reveal the answers. Okay, so the answer for 11 2/5 minus 2 3/5, the difference is 8 4/5, and the difference between 8 and 3 3/4 is 4 1/4. Congratulations! You've made it to our funny finale. How do you keep warm in a cold room? Go to the corner because it's always 90 degrees. That's a good one. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. So long, scholars!